Welcome back, gamers. This week I've been playing Blade and Soul. What is Blade and Soul? Well, if you haven't been following, it's a Korean MMORPG, it's a martial arts game, and it's based on Qigong. If you haven't played this game before, it's pretty old. It came out in 2012 in Korea, and then it got patched up. People were playing on Korean servers, Chinese servers, and so on, so you probably have some experience with this game. The game is finally coming out for the West, and it is completely free to play. So, what does that mean? That means on January 19th, tomorrow, you can actually download this game and play it for yourself. Now, if you want to buy stuff in the game, you know how NCSoft sets it up. They set up aesthetics, some materials here and there, expansion slot, altering your looks or premium accounts to earn more money and XP. Well, that's what you pay for, and they're pretty expensive, especially in terms of the cosmetic. One piece of armor for changing your looks can cost anywhere up to $10, but that's only if you want it. So if you're into the cosmetics, then you can go ahead and buy that, or if you want a premium account to level up faster and skip the queue lines. The game's art is created by the person who did Magna Carta, so if you've seen it before, disproportionate characters, Korean art, then you know what the game is about. It looks pretty good, and for a 4-year-old game, it still looks pretty good. As for the combat, it's like Terra, if you've played it before. Real-time targeting combat, you have to target your opponent and press a series of keys in combination to do attacks. I play as a Kung Fu Master, so it's one of the harder classes out there and also ping intensive. The combinations are many, and it's a pretty fun class to play. There's also other classes you can choose as. Some of the other classes in the game include Assassins, Force Masters, Summoners, and also Blade Dancers. Now, some of them also tailors to certain race, and certain race can only be female. So, there are certain race that can only be played as a female character, and they're restricted to a certain class, such as a Blade Dancer versus a Blade Master. Now there's also the Destroyer class for those who like straight on warrior combat, and also 2 other classes that are out in Korea, but it's not out on the Western release yet, so that's coming soon. As for the game itself, it's pretty damn fun to play, especially with all the classes. The game offers many varieties of activities you can do. The leveling is not so bad. The maximum level you can hit right now is 45, but there is an intense PvP arena. There's also tag team PvP and also wars between certain uniforms. Open world PvP consists of which uniform and which faction you're under, so you can attack random people. Oh yeah, and don't try to go PvP until you're level at least 36 for the arenas, and world PvP, just do it anytime you want, unless you want to get killed by higher levels, because they already exist in the game. Just letting you know. The good news is, for arena PvP, you don't really have to pay much attention to gear at times. The reason is that the stats itself equalize, and also weapons, so when you go to PvP arena, it's going to equalize out. The things that will affect the PvP arena, however, is your skill tree, and your skill tree is pretty extensive in this game. Oh yeah, die bitch. Now of course, if you choose to do open world PvP, that's another story. Depending on uniform and gear set, that does affect what happens in world PvP. The game does offer a marketplace, and there's also crafting in the game. However, the crafting is actually unengaging for me. Crafting is used to benefit your characters, to make items to sell later on, or to benefit yourself in terms of soul shards. Why? Because mostly it consists of gathering resources and then just placing an order and waiting 10 minutes for the items to get crafted. So that's pretty much the crafting in the game. Not too engaging, huh? And of course, if you do choose to follow the story, it is accompanied by a bunch of cutscenes along with voiceovers, which can be a little bit cringe-worthy at times, but overall they aren't too bad. There's also PvE dungeons in the game that you can do with your group of friends. There's cross-servers included, and a tons of other various activities you can do, including dailies to get items and earn items to unlock weapons and evolve weapons in the game. Now, how does the game work? Well, most of the stats in the game are PvE. Now, of course, if you're not into the PvP, you can also do PvE with a bunch of friends and do cross-servers PvE. So, you don't necessarily have to be on the same server. And the dungeons to me seem subpar. Most of the dungeons are easy to run through. Some of the purple ones are a bit harder, so there's a lot of intense dungeons in the game that you can run through. Honestly, for my 3-day head start, the only real problems I had with the game that I've seen is the fact that the story is edited and they've changed out some stuff I didn't like, so I didn't care much about the story anymore. But it's a decent story if you follow it. It's nothing amazing. The only fact that, you know, being censored, I hate that the most, is when things get edited from the original. So I wasn't too much of a fan of that, and then they included memes in it. So if you're into that kind of stuff, hey, good for you. The other issue I had with the game is the fact that the server queues were outrageous. The queues keep going up and up and up and up and up for this one server I was trying to play on called Mushin, and I didn't realize that Reddit has named the server as an official US server, but I transferred off and I got my Founders Pack off somewhere else. I paid 125 for that one, so I got a lot of NC coins and items out of it. It's pretty cool, but as long as they transferred, I had no problem with that. So I had to start a new character, unfortunately. So just a heads up for those of you that are planning to play the game and planning to get into Blade and Soul, make sure you check out the servers before you jump into a server and create a character, because they do not transfer progression, only certain Founders Pack items. Now, the other thing is that the server weights is going to be affected by premiums, and there's a lot of people playing this game on a premium account because they're willing to pay for it. That's how popular this game is. It's quite insane, but overall, it's a fun game to play. You need to check it out. Oh yeah, and there's plenty of tits and ass in the game. That's right, folks, tits and ass. You make a character, make your own waifu, get into the action, which is what I did also. You know, I've made another character with tits and ass, and made a little bunny girl. The most beautiful thing in the world. You need to check her out right here. Here we go. So the character creation is pretty detailed. You can do a lot of things in here and create your own character the way you want, which is pretty nice. Anyways, it doesn't hurt. It's free to play. January 19. Check it out. If you enjoy it, good for you. If you don't like it, hey, there's always plenty of other MMOs to play. And, yeah, Yandere Dev doesn't play this game. I just had his name on placehold just in case someone tries to take it. But thanks for watching, and game on. Remember, tits and ass.